Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and the success of liberty. President John F. Kennedy. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters. This weekend we're moving into Memorial Day, which is a time of remembrance and reconciliation. It began during the Civil War, when family members and loved ones began decorating the graves of the Union soldiers and the Confederate soldiers. It was first known as Decoration Day. It continues today, and we continue to decorate graves. Many of us have expanded that. We decorate not only the graves of our fallen military, but of our loved ones. There are two other traditions that we have with Memorial Day. One that I wasn't aware of. At 3 p.m. in the afternoon, we pause to remember our fallen soldiers. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that or not. I was not. We also fly our flags at half-mast. Memorial Day is an important holiday for me and for my family. My grandfather served in World War I. My father served in World War II. He flew a B-19 with the Hells Angels. My uncle served in World War II in the U.S. Navy. I was a military wife during the Vietnam era. My brother was serving during the Vietnam era. My son was a helicopter crew chief and a gunner in the Gulf War. He walked in on the ground war. And my daughter and my son-in-law were in the Army in Germany during the Gulf War, serving in medical services. But today I'd like to tell you about my father-in-law, Joseph Ortiz. He was born in San Antonio in 1922. His mother took him to Mexico when he was just a very young child and rather abandoned him, where he lived with an aunt. He completed high school in Monterrey, Mexico, and he moved to Chicago. He began working in a shoe store and studying English at night. When he was 20 years old, he joined the United States Air Corps, which is now known as the United States Air Force. His dream was to be a pilot, but he could not pass the test. His English was not sufficient. And so they sent him to aerial gunnery school, and then they sent him to England, and he began flying missions on the B-25. His plane was the Sky Queen. On November 13, 1943, the Sky Queen and 23 other B-25s flew a mission. 2 enemy German planes shot the engine out of my father-in-law's plane. The crew dropped their bombs, they parachuted out, and Joseph Ortiz landed in Holland with a broken shoulder. The Nazis questioned him for 20 days, and they beat him with a riding whip. He told them nothing. He was barely 21 years old. He was then sent to Stalag 17B, which was a German internment camp in Krems, Austria. He was put in barracks with 173 other men. The large building had nothing but a small wood stove, and that was their only source of heat. They slept in mattresses that were stuffed with straw. They ate nothing but tea and bread, and occasionally they had a few potatoes and some dandelions. There were escape attempts from this internment camp, but none of them were successful. And when someone attempted to escape, they were shot and they were killed in front of the other POWs. Joseph Ortiz, at 21 years of age, was in a camp surrounded by electric barbed wire, searchlights, watchtowers, and machine guns. He stayed there for 20 months and then was liberated. But his liberation was not without trouble. They had to walk for 30 days through the Alps, all the while trying to avoid the German enemy soldiers that were retreating, because they would have killed him. They were truly liberated when they reached the Austrian-German border and the American soldiers rescued them. Joseph Ortiz went to Chicago. He began to raise a family, and he established his career. He didn't talk about those war days, not until 1978, when he and some other former POWs from Stalag 17B decided to have a reunion. And they've had a reunion every year since that time. I've had the privilege of attending those reunions for the past 4 years. Former POWs and their families travel from all over the nation to be at these reunions that last for 3.5 days. Keep in mind that the youngest of these POWs is now 88 years of age. Some come in wheelchairs, some come with walkers, some come on oxygen, but they come. And they come and they have 3 days that are chock full of entertainment and banquets and storytelling. One of the big criteria for scheduling the reunion at whatever place they choose to go is a hospitality room. They have a large hospitality room, and there they set up refreshments for the day, and there they sit and they tell their stories, generally to one another, and we have the privilege of listening in. For the past few years, because of the age of these gentlemen, they've considered each year being their last reunion. But on May 3rd, which was their Liberation Day, which is the last day of their reunion, they have business meeting. And every year they vote to have a reunion for the next year. And they voted, and there will be a reunion for 2012. I'd like to share with you, at the reunions, they have a memorial service. And at the end of the memorial service, they have a ritual that I would like to share with you today. And that's a table that you see sitting here, sitting for the soldier that is missing. He may be a prisoner of war. He may be missing in action. He may be a fallen soldier. The table is set for just one. The white cloth represents the purity of our soldiers' intention to serve our country and protect our freedom. The black napkin symbolizes the mourning that we have for our fallen soldiers. The single rose and the candle symbolizes the faith and the hope that family members hold, waiting for their soldier to return. The lemon symbolizes the bitterness of the ultimate sacrifice of our fallen soldier. And the fallen salt on the plate symbolizes the tears of loved ones and family members as they wait for their soldier to return. The inverted wine glass, that symbolizes the toast that our fallen soldier will never make with us. And the empty chair remains empty, waiting for our soldier to return. Tonight, we hope that our soldiers, all of them, can hear us as we honor them in their service to our country. Is there anyone in here that's a veteran? Any other veterans in here? Just you, Jerry?
Yes.
Could you stand up, please? Could you please join me in thanking Jerry for his service to our country?